It's official. Style Guys is trending for the holiday season. Located 1252 Burnham Ave in Calumet City. Being black owned and operated with new items weekly, in-store, and even online. And with over 50,000 followers online, you can't miss out. Sales going on till 2022. Like jogging suits, hoodies, t-shirts, Jordan Craig, smoke rides, crisp, sweaters, and so much more. So beat the lines and order online from Style Guys, 1252 Burnham Ave in Calumet City. Contact them today at 708-801-9481. Again, 708-801-9481. Or check them out from Tuesday to Saturday from noon to 7 p.m. or Sundays from noon to 5 p.m. Style Guys, 1252 Burnham Ave in Calumet City. Life, fashion, style. Follow some of the newest styles by Style Guys in Calumet City. Lock in The Style Guys on IG or look them up, thestyleguys.com. Gone wild!
Feeling myself, but I stay in my lane. I know you thinking you nice, but you sounding the same. He need to switch up his flow, but I know that he ain't. Shit, maybe he want to and probably can't. He talk a lot, but ain't saying a word. He's 16, sounding like he be lacing his herb. Reggie Rock told me time to just focus and spit. Quit worrying about the niggas abandoning shit. I dropped broken and they told me quit biting your tongue. The way you writing sounded like you forgot where you from. Say you from the hood, but you sound like a minister now. Yeah, I could take it there, but shit, I just like how this sound. I should address some of this drama, but letting it go. Shit, I can't keep playing with you niggas, I'm getting too old. The last words Bone told me I never forget. Quit playing with this music and do it to death. Shit, I came back.
You are now listening to the End of the Bench Bar Fights, where sports talk may get physical, hosted by yours truly, HRap.
How y'all doing? This is your man HRap coming at you live and direct, or recorded and direct, because there ain't a lot of y'all in here. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like button, hit that share button, tell a friend and tell a friend. We on live on YouTube. We live on Twitch at the TEODB, the End of the Bench _podcast, and we on Twitter at HRap_B. Thank you for tuning in. It's your man coming at you live and direct. As I stated, I'm back. It states I'm back. For those who don't know, at one point I was the dopest sports podcast in the history of the universe. I'm still that, but I stopped because sports was no longer fun. I got tired of people talking about who's the best, LeBron or Jordan, this GOAT conversation and all this and all that. That's why I changed my name to the Supervillain, because being a supervillain is partly about perspective. A lot of people be villains until you get into the story is actually told and you realize that dude was the hero. Tonight, second program, a lot of people get caught up in this fanfare. You know, we've allowed people like Skip Bayless and my man Shannon Sharp, and I'm not knocking Shannon. I'm knocking Skip flat out. I'm doing that. You get people like Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp talking about this, that, and the third, and they've created these narratives that, in my opinion, have just been perpetuated by mainstream media because they need to big up other people. Oh, well, Tom Brady is the man because he's done this, and this guy's the man because he's done that. I'm just looking to elevate, and they were talking about the same kinds of things. Whereas when you are a major league athlete, you get all the grief and no gravy, unless the media loves you. Now, if the media loves you, get all the gravy, no grief. Tonight, I am going to be brief. Like I told you, I'm here for a good time, not for a long time. I am going to give you the End of the Bench bar fights, top 10 quarterbacks of all time. Let me first start off with the criteria. The criteria is as followed. Impact on the game. And that means, I don't mean the impact on the entire league, because guess what? Some people don't have personality like that. Some people play down their impact on the game, and that does not reduce their impact on the game. So I'm not going there with that. Adjusting on the fly. Sometimes you have a game plan. The difference in a good coach and a bad coach is this. Good coaches or great coaches coach situations. Bad coaches coach a system. I'm running a West Coast offense. I don't care what you are capable of doing. This works. We've seen it working. But if you can adjust on the fly when you see things not happening the way you anticipated them happening, you adjust and go into something else, then that makes you an all-time great quarterback. When the chips are down, what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you playing up to your best ability? If y'all getting y'all teeth kicked in, a couple years back, the Cowboys played the Broncos with Peyton Manning, and Peyton Manning and Tony Romo were going at it. The Dallas Cowboy defense did not make the Denver Broncos punt one time. Tony Romo, he kicked ass to the end of the game. But guess what? Had y'all stopped the Denver Broncos one time, that last play don't happen. And Tony Romo is not the GOAT, as in blew the game. He's the GOAT, as in greatest game of his entire career. So we're going to talk about it. Doing more with less. A lot of people try to commend you for commend certain quarterbacks, number 12, who used to be in New England, for doing so much with less. But just because you're not a star does not mean you're not a quality NFL player. And that's a popularity contest. We're going to cover that. Not about the wins and the losses. It's what you do in the wins and losses. Now, strikes against you, doing less with more. So y'all know it's a dude who used to play just up the street. He ain't on the list. He ain't on the list because he did less with more. Were you the reason we lost or won, or were you just along for the ride? And are you a system quarterback? Did the system win the game, or did you play a major part of the game? With that being said, thank you for tuning in. This is your man HRap. This is Built for This Network. This is the End of the Bench podcast. Bar fights. Holla at your boy. First of all, I'm going to start off with honorable mentions. Honorable mentions on the greatest quarterbacks according to HRap are as follows. Steve McNair. Steve McNair had one of the stupidest coaches in the history of the game, and he still took that team to the Super Bowl. He was so great that the Baltimore Ravens, at the end of his career, when his body was beat to crap, they traded for him. He just didn't have the physical capabilities to do that. Now, thank you, bro. I'm out here, man. Now, and then I want you to tell a friend, share the link, man. Get people in here. I would love to going back and forth, but the next name on the list, Randall Cunningham, honorable mention. These are honorable mentions right here. Randall Cunningham is on honorable mention because one of the stigmas, he came at the height of the stigma against black quarterbacks. Black quarterbacks can't do it. Black quarterbacks can't think. Their running style will never let you win, yada, yada, yada. It was a closed mind situation. Randall Cunningham was still known as the perfect weapon. Go look it up on Sports Illustrated, the perfect weapon, Randall Cunningham. And Randall Cunningham left the league for a couple years, came back, won league MVP, and it was this bum kicker, Anderson. It's the reason that Randall Cunningham never played in the Super Bowl, so he's in there. The next on the honorable mention list is my man, first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl. He is the first quarterback to take the Tampa Bay. At this time, they were called the Yuccaneers. They were that terrible. They were the Yuccaneers to the playoffs. They lost to the Dallas Cowboys. Doug Williams, they didn't want to pay him. His wife got sick. He went to the USFL, came back, sat on the bench for Washington. Jay Schrader, bum behind, was on the team. He's stinking it up. He was looking bummerific like he was. And Doug Williams stepped in. The rest is history. And the last name on my honorable mention list is four-time Super Bowl champion, Terry Bradshaw. Four-time Super Bowl champion Terry Bradshaw. Don't get me wrong. The first two Super Bowls, Terry was along for the ride. It was defense shut down everything. Franco shut down everything. Franco running through, doing a damn thing, and he progressively got better. By the time he came of age and was about to shine in the league, he got a league MVP, got a Super Bowl MVP. And when he was about to come into his own, he blew out his elbow. Medical science was not as advanced as it is now. It ended his career. Salute to those people. Steve McNair, Randall Cunningham, big time Doug Williams, HBCU product, and Terry Bradshaw. Those are my honorable mentions. Number 10 on the greatest of all time quarterbacks in National Football League history is one, Dan Marino. I heard my man Justin. Thank you, Alfred. Alfred need to be here today, man. Alfred comes on Thursdays too. Anytime you got your help coming in, you know you're a good dude. But Dan Marino, the reason he's number 10 on my list. Okay, let's start with the reason he made the list. Dan Marino dominated a league that was not pass friendly. He came in the league 4 games into his rookie year. First of all, Dan Marino got blackballed. For whatever reason, from what I understand, it was a marijuana, and he scored low on the Wonderlic test as well. He got an insanely low. He got one of those scores they always highlight for the brothers. So Dan Marino went from having a stellar career at the University of Pittsburgh to being the very last player picked in the first round of the NFL draft, 1984. They call it the quarterback class. With that being said, Dan Marino proceeded to, after 4 games, dominate the National Football League. You knew he was passing just about every down, and you could not stop him. He did not have a wheel. He had slightly good wheels early in his career. By the time he became Dan the Man Marino, he had no more wheels. He was extending in that pocket. He had the quick release. Him, Clayton Duper, Irvin Fryer, I can't think of the man, Nat Moore, Nat Moore. These dudes dominated football. He went 15-1 his rookie year, or 15-2 his first year as a starter, his second year in the league. Met Joe Montana in the Super Bowl. The rest is history. Dan Marino is arguably the greatest thrower of the football that we've ever seen on a consistent basis, because he had no options. He had a limit. His coach was limited. His coach went from ground and pound to being amazed by Dan Marino's ability, when what the Miami Dolphins should have done is built a team around Dan. They had solid defense. They had Dan. If you add a running game, this is the same league that you're looking at 9. That's why you can't win. We're going to get into that one day. Next up, Kurt Warner is number 9. Oh, man, it was Marshall Faulk, and it was Azir Akeem, and it was Bruce, and it was my man Torrey Holt. That was the reason they was doing it. But guess what? Some of those dudes were there the year before Kurt got there. Isaiah King was not a rookie. Bruce was not a rookie. Torrey Holt, big game Torrey Holt, he was. Marshall got there with him. This dude came off the bench and did the damn thing. And if you think it was a fluke, he went back again. And then if you think it's another fluke, he went to the NFC Championship game. And if you really think it was a fluke, he took the lowly Arizona Cardinals. They were one big-time throw from Ben Roethlisberger and one big-time catch from Antonio, I can't think his name, out of Ohio State, from winning the Super Bowl there, which would have even more solidified his career. You can say what you want to say. Hey, when Eli took his job, the only reason Eli Manning took his job is because Eli was picked that high in the draft. Otherwise, Eli Manning had an insanely mundane career. So don't talk to me about Eli Manning took his job. Watch the game. Stop watching the stats. Watch the game. Watch the plays he made. You go back to the Super Bowl that he beat one of the honorable mention guys, Steve McNair. They beat him to death. Curse and that crew beat that man to sleep. He bounced back and won Super Bowl MVP. He made the big throws. He did what you had to do every time and every place he had to go. My main man, Kurt Warner, is number 9. Number 8, Aaron Rodgers. Plain and simple. Aaron Rodgers is number 8. The reason Aaron Rodgers is number 8, if I have to answer that question, then all you do is watch ESPN. You don't watch the games. Aaron Rodgers, I've heard people, even as recently as this year, say Aaron Rodgers is not going to be as good as he used to be because my man Adams is with the Raiders. And then, bam, he hasn't missed a beat. He lost Jordy Nelson. He lost Cobb. He lost Walker. He lost a gang of offensive talent. Driver. He lost all his guys. They got new and replacement guys in there, and he continues to not miss a beat. They have a porous offensive line. He continues to not miss a beat. They take his coach. Hey, ask the people in Dallas, did he have a good coach? Ask the people in Dallas, did Aaron Rodgers have a good coach all those years? They replaced him with another coach that he doesn't really get along with. What does he do? One year he has a good year, then he has a very good year, then he wins league MVP. Aaron Rodgers, number 8 guy on the list. This is a guy, the next guy, number 7. This is a guy who's going to piss a lot of folks off. This name is going to piss a lot of folks off. Not too many people where he played, but the people who watch it, and if you share it and tell a friend and tune in, hit that like button, hit that share button. This dude's gonna piss a lot of people off, but these are the facts. 3-time Super Bowl champion, 1-time league MVP, and this dude has been retired over 20 years, and his team hasn't won 3 playoff games in a row since. They still had the talent, they still had the line, they still had the owner who was all in, and guess what? Since my man took that jersey off, his team ain't done anything. It's the one and only Troy Aikman. A lot of people say he was along for the ride. That's just like the same thing they say about Emmitt Smith. But check this out, y'all. If Troy and Emmitt it was that big time offensive line, okay, cool. Explain to me why that same big time offensive line, no other quarterback since Troy has stepped up and done what Troy has done. It's not like the Dallas Cowboys have not had the offensive line. Yes, they have. It's not like they haven't had running backs. Yes, they have. It's not like they haven't had defense. Yes, they have. But somehow, some way, the Dallas Cowboys have not won 3 playoff games in one season. I don't think they won three playoff games since the man been gone, to be perfectly honest with you. But that's just me off the dome. They haven't won 3 playoff games without him. League Super Bowl MVP. They haven't played the same without him. 3-time Super Bowl champion, which makes me see leadership counts. See, you could be Brett Favre, and if anybody noticed, Favre is not on my list. If somebody else not gonna make the list, that's gonna shock the entire hell out of y'all too. Favre is not on the list because where's the leadership? Where's the Brett Favre throwing to a triple team? He'll hit a wide open linebacker or DB like he played for the Packers. I'm starting to believe the man colorblind on the Vinny Testaverde side of the game. But Troy Aikman is not my number 7 dude. Look him up. See, if you want to look at stats, then Troy Aikman shouldn't even be in the Hall of Fame. It's about impacting the game. It's about people around the league respecting you. It's about doing the damn thing when it counts. Question. If Troy Aikman does not belong on my list and people got Steve Young in the Hall of Fame, explain this to me. Joe Montana wins 4 Super Bowls. Gets hurt. He leads the team with Jerry Rice, John Taylor, Roger Craig, Tom Rathman. They leave him with a Ferrari. Steve Young don't win the Super Bowl until they get bar none, Ricky Waters, Jerry Rice, John Taylor, what's the boy out of UCLA, Owens, JJ Stokes. Terrell Owens wasn't there yet. JJ Stokes. And then they had Merton Hanks, Tim McDonald, both All-Pros, Gary Plummer, Ken Norton, both All-Pros, Richard Dent, Hall of Famer, Bryant, Hall of Famer, Dana Stutterfield, Hall of Famer. Who the hell couldn't win? Tim McKyer and Prime. Who couldn't win that Super Bowl? All you had to do was show up and not blow it. He was left with a Ferrari. Well, why didn't he? If it ain't on Troy, why didn't Steve Young win 3 Super Bowls? Troy Aikman belongs on the team. Next up is y'all favorite guy, the GOAT. He eating the mango ice, not mango. He eating the avocado ice cream, and he can do no wrong, and all this and all that. I'm gonna use y'all argument against y'all. If Tom Brady is the GOAT and Michael Jordan is the GOAT, why Michael Jordan the GOAT? Michael Jordan he's 6'6" in the NBA Finals, and he won 6 MVPs. Now, unless I've gone crazy and I was already crazy. Unless I'm insane, I've seen Tom Brady have several bad Super Bowls. I saw 2 Super Bowls that Tom Brady didn't even throw touchdowns. I saw Tom Brady fumble against the Philadelphia Eagles and cost them the game. That means he didn't adjust to the situation. And by the way, Tom Brady got two Super Bowls in which the other team blew it and he won. First one, the Atlanta Falcons. They stopped running. They dominating on the ground and they stopped running. How do you not run the football with a 24-point lead? Or Tom Brady brought them back. No, the defense shut that other team down, and Tom Brady the other team's defense was tired for being out on the field. See, it's about attrition. And like I told y'all Tuesday night, it ain't that Steph Curry got the greatest jumper in the world. He ain't playing no defense. And he in the zone. And how you in the zone? Justin is a former football player. He in the chat room. How y'all playing zone and you still getting cooked in the zone when it's 3 people on your side, no matter what side of the court you on, but you still getting baked. The weakness is your defense. Oh, he's stepping up on defense now. Yeah. Back to Tom Brady. It was about attrition. Then you get a dude on the 1 yard line who runs a 14-yard run and gets you to the 1. Y'all got one timeout. Y'all on the 1 yard line with like 40 seconds, 40 seconds to go. Y'all got a dude on y'all team named Beast Mode, and y'all try to throw the ball. And that's how Tom Brady got another Super Bowl. That's not a knock against him. I'm just saying, against the Rams last time he played the Super Bowl, no touchdowns. The defense won that game. The first time, no touchdowns. The defense won that game. He got several Super Bowls in which the defense just shut the other team down, and he did the bare minimum. He what's the boy name in Tampa Bay? Brad Johnson did. He Trent Dilfer it, and now he the GOAT. I don't remember Joe Montana having bad Super Bowls, but that's neither here nor there. But either way, Tom Brady is an excellent quarterback. Don't get me wrong. He's an excellent quarterback, but he ain't number one on my list. Next up, I'm sure the people that's watching in Dallas, their Texas salute, Roger Staubach's number 5. The Dallas Cowboys were America's team in the 70s. In the 60s, they came about in like 61. They had meted Dandy Don Meredith. They was doing that thing. They had this other dude. I can't think his name right now. He ended up winning the Super Bowl. Earl Merrill, I think his name. He ended up winning the Super Bowl with the Colts. And they were fighting him and Roger Staubach. Roger Staubach got out the Navy, came in. They battled. When they got there, they had lost a couple of Super Bowls. They had lost a couple of NFC Championship games. They was always next year's champion up until and including the moment my man Roger Staubach got in the league. And then Tony D came in. They got another one. So, and then they lost one Super Bowl to the Pittsburgh Steelers because he hit a tight end who was butt naked wide open in the end zone, and he dropped it. See, it's not about your stats. It's not about putting up these big numbers and how many championships you got. It's about you're the GOAT. When everything falls on you and you rise to the occasion, if we lose, don't blame me. See, just that stupid mentality came about. I remember being at work one day. I was talking to my supervisor. I ain't gonna say his name. He might be watching. But I remember I told him, he was like, man, Randy Johnson don't show up in the big games. I said, yeah. I said, he got a 2.13 ERA. Well, he needs to throw a no-hitter. See, that's that idiotic mentality that makes Tom Brady the GOAT just because of the end result. And that makes somebody else not the GOAT because they didn't win. These are team efforts. You can be the GOAT when you win or lose. You the GOAT in boxing, win in tennis, and in golf. When you don't show up, you don't win. But I can do everything humanly possible, i.e. number 9 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Last 2 minutes of the game, you see my man Fitzgerald streaking up the middle of the field, touchdown. That's supposed to be game over. Kurt Warner gets his second Super Bowl. They lose that game. Do you blame Kurt Warner? No, you don't. The Raiders played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He, what's his name? I can't even think his name right now. He was the quarterback of the Raiders. He hitting Derek Brooks and those guys in the hands like they playing catch. Is it the Raiders' fault or is it his? See, we're not gonna get into that. We're not gonna do that. The wins and losses are our team effort. What do you do in those wins and losses? Perfect example. Everybody's favorite basketball player, Michael Jordan, scored 63. How was that Mike's fault? Oh, well, Mike didn't do enough. What was he supposed to score? 163? See, it's about what you do, impact on the game. That's why Roger Staubach is number 5. Next up, technically, I screwed this dude making him this number. This dude had to fight stereotypes. He had to fight racism. He had to fight discrimination. He had to not play in the league for a little while. He had to fight something that Black quarterbacks are fighting to this very day. There is rarely an opportunity when you turn on your TV and you see a Black quarterback outside of my man Dak down there in Dallas. And for the bulk of his career, he has talent around him. For the bulk of his career, he has talent around him. Warren Moon fought that fight. Warren Moon went up to, first of all, they wanted to move. I personally heard him say, and you can look it up, it's him, Deshaun Watson, and Michael Vick. And they having a little conversation, and they said, you have to, when you're a Black quarterback, you have to run a little slower, act like you can't run, or they're gonna move you to another position. They tried to move my man to cornerback or wide receiver. He said, "No, I'm a quarterback." So he went up to Canada, won 5 CFL's Super Bowls. He came down to this league. He made the Houston Oilers look invincible. He made the run and shoot work. He didn't have big time receivers. He had Ernest Givens, big time. He's a very good receiver. He wasn't big time. He had Haywood Jeffries, big time. Good guy. He had Hill, solid. These guys are very good. See, it's always good when you're the white boy, aka number 6, aka 2 slots behind this dude. Well, he ain't have that much talent. Look, again, man, just because I don't have a Super Bowl, look, and this is because I don't have T.O., just because I don't have Ocho, I don't have Michael Irvin, I don't have I can run the list of big time receivers, but those big time receivers 9 times out of 10 ain't on the Super Bowl championship team. So what good does it do? Look, the one time Tom Brady had the best receiver in the league, he went 16-1. He went home with the same amount of rings as I got on my hand right now, which is 0. So Warren Moon is number 4 on my list. The reason Warren Moon is so low is because he didn't get an opportunity to shine the way he could have. And the 2 dudes in front of him, I'm just here to tell you, man, I think they are a rat far and better than him, simply because he came in the league late. This is NFL greatest of all time, not greatest quarterback of all time, because then we can go to Jefferson Street Joe and all that, but this is NFL. So deal with it. Or you can always get at me at HRap B, at HRap_B on Twitter or Instagram. Or you can comment in the chat when you tell your friend, man, this dude crazy. Have him get at me, and then I get at them. Number 3 on my list, John Elway. Now, you want to talk about doing less with more? John Elway has some dudes from the USFL. He has some dudes that Ricky Nattil, Vance Johnson. Y'all never heard of the 3 Amigos. He had Sammy Smith, who was in and out of the league quick. He never had any big-time talent around him. But somehow, some way, he got that Denver Bronco team to not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 Super Bowls. He never won. See, this is the stupidest part about championships, the conversation about championships. We hating on people for losing in the championship round. Are you telling me the next quarterback your team draft, if they take your team to 4 Super Bowls, and I'm talking about put your team on his back against the Cleveland Browns, who had a formidable team. They had Big Daddy Davidson, they had Hanford Dixon, they had Frank Minifield, 2 of the best corners in the league. They had nice linebackers. They had Bernie Kosar. They had Bernie Kosar, Webster Slaughter. They had a team. And John went in there his second year in the league and said, I'm gonna need y'all to get the hell up out of here because I'm winning this. 98-yard drive to tie the game, and then took it into overtime and won the game. Most of y'all don't start pre-Super Bowl. Start pre-Super Bowl. Most of y'all can't name a John Elway's teammate. I'll give y'all 4. I need y'all to give me 5. Carl Mecklenburg, Steve Atwater, Big Mobley, Sammy Smith. Give me 1 more. And guess what? Here's a hint. He used to work for ESPN. Tom Jackson. There you go. John Elway, 3rd best quarterback I've ever seen. The number 2 guy. It's not a whole lot of options for number 2 right here. I'm going to shock a lot of people. A lot of people are going to be shocked to death. And for years, I've said this dude is number 1. But then once I put this list together, I realized he's not number 1. He's not number 2. He's number 1. He's not number 2. He's number 1. And the number 2 dude on my list is Joe Montana. I'm gonna use y'all same argument. Y'all tell me that Michael Jordan is the GOAT because he had 6 NBA championships, 6 finals MVPs, and he showed up all the time. Well, for y'all that wanted to sit back and be lazy and say, Joe Montana had Jerry Rice. The last time I checked, Jerry Rice was in college when Joe Montana won 2 Super Bowls. Mike Wilson, we used to call him catch a ball because all he would do is catch 1 ball a game. Mike Wilson and my man Wendell Tyler was the running back. 2 Super Bowls. They beat the Bengals and they beat Dan Marino and his crew with Skeets Nehemiah, Ronaldo Nehemiah, a hurdler. They had my man Roger Craig then. No Tom Rathman. His teammate Tom Rathman wasn't there. That's 2 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl MVPs. He won the 3rd Super Bowl when Jerry Rice won MVP against those same Bengals. And that's the Ickey Shuffle Bengals and all the James Brooks, Ickey Woods. They had a crew. Everybody thought they was going to lose. He had to drive them down for the end of the game. And as a matter of fact, here's another fun fact. Joe Montana has never thrown an interception in the Super Bowl. He played in 4 Super Bowls and never threw an interception. Now, he did throw one to Lewis Billups, number 24, in the back of the end zone before he hit John Taylor for the game winner. Lewis Billups dropped it. That don't count. They don't give you almost interceptions. You either get an interception or you don't. Joe Montana, for those people who, again, but he did it with Jerry Rice. That's 4 Super Bowls, 3 MVPs. And guess who won the other MVP? Jerry Rice. So that means if Jerry Rice was Super Bowl MVP and Joe Montana was the quarterback, it's a good chance Joe Montana could have won MVP that night too, correct? And if you think I'm incorrect, at HRap_B on Instagram or Twitter, holla at your boy. Get at me. Now, the number 1 dude is a dude that nobody talks about anymore. This is, now, one of the reasons you can throw the ball as freely as you can is people like my main man, Mel Blount. Mel Blount is one of the greatest defensive backs in the history of the game. He's tall as most linebackers, rangy as most safeties, meaning will knock you out, and could cover. If you don't know how great Mel Blount is the reason that they made the you can't touch him after 5 yards rule. So everybody in the world said, man, it's over for Mel Blount if you can't touch him after 5 yards. He be roughing dudes up. How you going to do it? You know what he did? He won Defensive Player of the Year after they changed the rule, and it's called the Mel Blount rule. The 5 can't touch out the 5 yards is called the Mel Blount rule. This dude dominated the National Football League when you could beat wide receivers up all the way down the field. He invented the 2-minute drill. This dude got cut, sat down for a year, came back, dominated the National Football League. He was known as unstoppable. People like Peyton Manning love him. Everybody and their uncle love him. He gets not enough credit. He was in the league. Do you understand? It took years. It's still dudes who play in this pass happy, you can't touch the quarterback league. And they still breaking his records. Multiple games with consecutive touchdowns is his record, and I don't think it'll ever be broken. I don't think it will ever be broken. This dude goes by the name of Johnny Unitas. Johnny Unitas. Now, if you are asking yourself, Rap, how you leave off Peyton Manning, how you leave off this guy, how you leave off that guy? Peyton Manning never showed up when it counted. Peyton Manning has 2 Hall of Fame wide receivers, a borderline Hall of Fame tight end, a big-time offensive line, 2 Defensive Player of the Years, consistently had a top 10 defense and did nothing. He won Super Bowls by default. Remember, one of the criteria was changing on the fly. Only time he ever changed on the fly was when the Bears was kicking his butt, and then they started giving it to the dude at LSU. I think his name was Anthony Brooks or something like that. I can't think his name. It ain't important. He gave it to him on a rainy night on the Super Bowl, and they won. He should have been Super Bowl MVP. Peyton Manning got Super Bowl MVP. The reason people like Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are not as high as most people will believe they are is because they've played the bulk of their career in this NFL. The NFL used to be a league where one of the owners, the late great Al Davis, God rest his soul, said the quarterback must go down and go down hard. Meaning we are here to knock the quarterback out of the game. When wide receivers used to get knocked out. And if you can dominate doing this, why can't you dominate doing that? Imagine if you would have never been. Joe Montana had a broken back once. John Elway got beat to crap. Imagine if they played in a league that you can tackle me, but you can't follow me. Or if you get pushed to the ground and you crawl over to me and grab my leg, that's a penalty. Imagine if anybody on this list besides Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, how many touchdowns and how many Super Bowls would Troy Aikman have won if he didn't have the fear of being concussed? So You can tell me Tom Brady playing till you're 100 years old, but they playing two-hand touch with him. No, you get no credit for that. Is he a great ball player? Of course he is. Of course he is. But he a paper champion, in my opinion. I ain't trying to hear it. If y'all telling me he the GOAT because he won the most Super Bowls and Michael Jordan is the GOAT because he won in the modern era, won the most championships and won the most finals MVPs, and he's always showing up. Tom Brady has not showed up on several occasions. But Johnny, you used to always show up more times than not. Joe Montana used to always show up more times than not. John Elway showed up more times than not. Warren Moon, Roger Staubach, those dudes showed up and showed out. Tom Brady had a top 10 defense and one of the greatest defensive minds in the history of football. And I forgot about that. They were cheating. If y'all not giving Barry Bonds credit for the home run record, because they was cheating, the last time I checked, y'all told me Bill Belichick was cheating too. So how Tom Brady the man if his coach was cheating? Oh, he wasn't benefited from that, huh? Okay, be dumb if you want to. This your man HRap B, man. I hope you enjoyed the joint. I'm going to be on periodically. I don't know what I'm talking about next time, but I brought up something last time, and that's what made me do this list. I will be on regularly. I ain't going to be on long, but I'm going to be, I ain't here to have a long time. I ain't here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. If you like the list, reach out to me in the chat or reach out to me on Instagram, on Twitter at HRap_B. 2 fingers, 1 word. I hope you enjoyed it. This is Bar Fights, where sports talk may get physical.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
One more thing, man. Go to BS3 right now, man. Go to BS3 on YouTube. They're talking about child support. I think that's important for people, for men to get involved with that child support conversation. Go to BS3 Perspective. That's the name of the show. Holla at your boy. This your man HRap. 2 fingers, 1 word, and I am out.